Hey man, one thing about life is that history repeats itself. And sometimes a cycle needs to be broken. And sometimes the decisions that we make as young adults affect the child directly. And that's exactly what we are seeing when it comes down to baby Jeff, the son of Young Thug. Yeah, the pistol toting, drill rapping, demon YSL suburban child. So when I see baby Jeff doing Young Thug imitations, talking in sign language encoded of gangsterism, when I see him looking like his daddy at 17, 18 years old, I am not surprised, because for whatever reason, whenever I see videos of Young Thug's children, it goes to show that maybe they weren't raised the best. Maybe the ills of the ghetto around that family have affected the children. Yes, even the children that have never grown up in the projects. One thing about Atlanta, the projects is gone. Where are these kids living and why are they acting like this?
Hop out the car, get it swinging that Drake. I got face and diamond got taste.
Suppress on that glass so I won't leave a trace. Keep this gang, get shot in your face.
I smoke dead dogs all day to the face. I'm smoking on high, got shot in the face.
Ain't low to you, keep switching games, you a lame. And Billy on son, D.L. he changed. And Billy a rat, he keep leaving state. And gonna get whacked, they don't leave that LA. None get smoke right here to the face. The gang gon' never gon' change.
None got smoke right here to the face. He got caught trying to get him a fade. These switches tremble, temp fade. We do not miss, we don't relay. Yo, what? Switch is not a glitch, they be tripping. It be do glitching. Brrr, it be tripping. You try to run, I bet I am the fit. My all be broken for, I guess they gay. Get that why they hate. Bet they mad about hot, cause he got face of diamond, she got chase.
Cause I get fit, and if they did, they got that with him. He got hit twice in his spit. They knew he was dead with that when they did it. Same money block, don't leave a nigga weak. That made my eyes, but they ain't never did shit. Every block we got dropping out with a chop like he with the Navy SEAL. Like he trying to go kill.
But we'll touch on that later. Now, what I do want to touch on is that Young Thug's son has been out of control. And yesterday we watched him crash out. And it's got me thinking, Jeff, where are you at? Thug, where are you at? And Young Thug's son, Bloodhound Baby Jeff, would be saying the same thing, because he would get on Instagram to say this: shit about different when your own family ain't with you. Heartbroken emoji. I ain't need no nigga for nothing in my own fuck my family. My dude gonna be feeling like nobody here with me. Can't believe nigga pick they hoes over they kids. Shit crazy, man. I'm tired of this shit, gang. Love y'all. Hashtag my soldiers. Blood drop. Now, for those who don't know or aren't familiar with the situation, Young Thug has a son named Jeff. And this is the son who made this post. Now, this son has been going through it over the last few years, being that a few years ago at the bowling alley in Metropolitan in Atlanta, one of the worst areas in the city, she was brutally murdered over an altercation in the bowling alley.
A young mother is shot and killed after getting into an argument over a bowling ball. The victim is LaKevia Jackson, who has a son with well-known rapper Young Thug. Now, late this afternoon, Atlanta police announced they're questioning a person who they are not calling a suspect. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor has more.
What a sad and ironic development. LaKevia Jackson's family tells me she came here to the bowling alley to have some fun and celebrate a friend's birthday. But somehow, as fate would have it, ended up in an argument over a bowling ball and was fatally shot.
And she just was a very loving, kind person.
LaKevia Jackson's parents are having a hard time wrapping their minds around what happened to their daughter, who is the mother of one of rapper Young Thug's children. They say 31-year-old Jackson headed to the Metro Fun Center on Metropolitan Parkway with friends Thursday night.
She was celebrating her birthday at the bowling alley with a very close family friend.
Her mother tells me a second group came in and started taking over. That's when an argument ensued over a bowling ball.
Senseless. Could have been aborted. Like I said, the homicide detective said it best. Conflict resolution. People just don't know how to resolve conflict. Everybody want to pick guns up to solve a conflict.
Atlanta police spent the early morning hours looking at ballistics evidence. They also say they have several cooperating witnesses who are helping them piece together what happened. Meanwhile, LaKivia, who is described as kind-hearted and loving, leaves behind a 14-year-old son with young Thug and grieving parents.
If he would do something cowardly and heartless like that to a woman, he'll do it to anybody. He's the type of person that needs to be off the street.
The family tells me Atlanta police have surveillance video from the inside. They are hopeful that video will lead to an arrest. In Southwest Atlanta, Angelique Proctor, Fox 5 News.
Now, some are saying that that is retaliation from the YSL beef with other people in the neighborhood. Some are saying that it was just simply an altercation that needed good conflict resolution and nobody knew how to do it. Now, after Baby Jeff made this post, his auntie and the sister of Young Thug would put up a post saying this: try dealing with kids who choose a street life that wasn't raised in the streets, who can get anything and whatever they want whenever they want, but chooses not to go to school and drop out. A woman has nothing to do with my nieces and nephews, which she's talking about Mariah the Scientist, obviously. Real talk. Entitlement does with no sense of direction, no ambition, no future plans, no respect. All they want to do is make drill music and do drugs.
But you still ain't send me that song, nigga.
So I don't care. So I thought I sent that bit last night. I was so high.
Nigga, high as a bit last night. I'm talking nigga OD.
But you know what time I went to sleep?
What time?
Like film.
So, okay, I woke up like 4 in the morning. I was not going back to sleep. I was too tired.
Yeah, I woke up at. I didn't go to sleep till I was just up to it and get up.
Yeah, I can't stay up that long.
Kids been given multiple opportunities to go to school with the rich, and yet they turn it down to stay on the streets and call requesting cash apps and Zelles. For what? Won't get my money either. Go do something positive with yourself. Still love them all equally. You want to be grown, you got to pay the price to be grown. When you realize you want to be a kid to just get what you want and then go back to being grown, that's when the adult's the problem. We fight hard for him every day, even his mom did till her last breath, and couldn't get him to gather himself. That ain't nothing new. Nephew been trying to live like this and actually want to live the ruggish when he ain't never had to do that, and the doors will never close. Now, me personally, I see a lot of people championing this type of perspective that Dora put out there. I see them saying sometimes you gotta wash your hands with these kids. I see people even saying, yo, Young Thug, you are on probation for 15 years. Dealing with your own child is gonna get you locked up. And to be honest, it seriously got me questioning the parenting of some of y'all. Now, I'm not saying I'm the most perfect person, because I'm not the perfect parent. I think we all learn as we go. But one thing I will say when I'm reading Dora's perspective is that it's heavily flawed and it lacks accountability as adults. You see, to me, kids aren't born bad. Every kid that is born into this world is innocent. It's what slowly over time has been influenced, the environment, the people under the roof of the house that they live in. All of these things are a factor as to why the kid acts the way that the kid acts. You see, when I look at Dora's post, it's got me realizing that maybe because they grew up and came from nothing, that they expect when they give the children everything that they can afford, that automatically means that the child should be a good child, that the child should be obedient. The child has nothing to go through in their life when they could be further from the truth. You see, at one of the most pivotal moments in Young Thug's child's life at 14 years old, in March, he lost his mother due to a murder, and then less than 2 months later, he lost his father to the system. not knowing if he was ever getting out. He spent 29 months in jail. That is a pretty traumatic experience. And if you look at the post that he made, he's basically calling out for help. He's calling for a presence from his dad, not a present from his dad. And yes, Young Thug has a lot going against him as far as he can't be in the city and he can only come back during certain times of the year. But Young Thug sounds like he has to step up and be a dad. And when you're not being a dad, but you have time to be with your girlfriend, when your girlfriend is catching red-eye flights the minute you get out of jail. While your children could be possibly wanting you to stay and spend time with them longer, I completely understand Lil Baby Jeff's point. When you've spent 3 to 4 years with no parents, no structure, probably no grief counseling, nobody that can provide the right things to get his mental health in the right direction besides the drugs that he's doing, the influence of Young Thug in his life where he's stacking and gangbanging just like his father was. He's doing drugs, drinking, popping pills, rapping, listening to drill music, all the things that Young Thug has associated himself with over the years. Then what could we really expect? You see, I see Hydora in here saying all of the opportunities like going to a rich school and things of that nature that they were offering to provide. And one thing about it before I get to that is that's the difference between back in the day and now, because you couldn't offer us things and let a kid make the decision. My parents, my mother, single mother, she was gonna tell you what you were gonna do. If you even came in the house with some clothes that she never seen before, she's gonna be on your ass. Where did you get this from? Who did you get it from? Where did you get the money to do this? Where it seems like Hydora is basically saying that she's given options to a child, or even the family has given options to a child, but they let him choose whatever life he wanted to do. That wasn't possible in my day. And I know I may sound like an old head, but that's just the truth. That's what we're lacking in today's parenting. Putting a child in a rich school isn't gonna solve the problems if there is no presence in the house. If the child's father cannot spend time with him after already having a mother who's passed away, then he's gonna continue to act out. All this is a lack of identity, and Lil Baby Jeff, trying to figure out where he's going in life, who he is, what's going on. So we can sit here and blame Baby Jeff, but at the end of the day, the child's behavior a lot of the times is a reflection of the parents, a reflection of the community that grew that boy up, a reflection of the village that was supposed to raise him and the adults that failed him. The boy literally says, I don't need no nigga for nothing. I'm on my own. My deuce got me feeling like nobody here with me. He's literally crying out for help. He's saying that y'all weren't there to support him. Y'all aren't there the way that he needs you to be there. Has anybody thought to sit him down and actually unpack his feelings and the trauma that they have put in his lives? No, that's not what it seems like. So yes, I expect a 16, 17-year-old boy who's turning to the streets to cope with his trauma and his emotions with drugs, with guns, with hate in his heart. Now, don't get me wrong. I think the family may feel like they're doing the right thing. I'm not here to tell them that they're wrong. I'm just here to give another perspective. And as well as Baby Jeff may be too far gone. But what I will say is there's a reason that he's too far gone. This just didn't happen overnight. He didn't go from a good kid to being a crazy, out of control teenager out of nowhere. And it may not even started when Young Thug went to prison or when his mother went to jail, because according to Dora, he's been on this. But why didn't anybody stop it? Why is Young Thug not bringing his child with him? I'm assuming that he doesn't have custody of his child, being that he was in prison, and he's saying that my dad doesn't pay my rent, things of that nature. I'm assuming that Young Thug isn't a full-time father when it comes to him, and that may be the issue. maybe a new scenery would do him some good, get him away from the city of Atlanta, which I definitely know can swallow you whole and just never let you out. It's the home of the trap. But what I will say is that the parents are the ones who are lacking the accountability, and they failed him. So y'all let me know what y'all think down below, man. Do y'all think that the son can be out of control and that the parents should just wash their hands with him? Do you think that the family should just wash their hands with him and let him make his own decision since he quote unquote wants to be grown? Or do you think that the parents should fight for their children? The auntie should fight for her nephew's life because he's going down a path that nobody would love for him to go down? Or do we think that, hey, we just gotta let people make their own decisions, bump their head, man? Y'all let me know what y'all think down below, man. Like, share, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell, and we out, baby. Boom.
IG-TheLaFlare.
It's him.